Under the Clock on the southeast corner of South Ocean and Main in Patchogue.
With just over 4 months left in the White House, the Obama administration's vowing to close GITMO before leaving office. It's been picking up the pace of transferring detainees to other countries. Former Navy SEAL and the man who killed Osama bin Laden, Rob O'Neill, says this is bad news for our security. Rob, I asked you this before when you sat down. What is the obsession by President Obama with closing this detention facility?
Well, Dagan, he's working on his legacy. What he said as he was running for his very first term, what he wants to do is close down Guantanamo Bay because for some reason there's this obsession that Guantanamo Bay is a recruitment tool for the jihadis when we're the only ones that really bring it up. I mean, at first, yes, they were putting their prisoners in orange jumpsuits to signify GITMO, and they were doing horrendous things to them, but now they don't really think about GITMO anymore. We're just making a big thing. He wants it closed down. He's just really going to push him out to anywhere he can do it. We've seen them pushing him all over the world, probably paying a lot of these countries to take these prisoners.
But 700 released, 200 have returned to the battlefield, and we've heard from people within our own government that they have killed Americans. Osama bin Laden's cook and chauffeur is a leader of Al-Qaeda in Yemen.
Yeah, one of his bodyguards was released, and they sent a few of them to Montenegro like that, like I said, because they're probably paying these countries to take him. Yeah, like bin Laden's own people, and it's just crazy to me. Like they're saying, well, he was never charged with anything. It's like, okay, in December of 2001, while the Twin Towers, it's still Ground Zero is still smoking, we run into a guy from Yemen with Osama bin Laden. He's not in he's in Afghanistan. He's not there building schools. He's there because he's jihadi. And just because some of our weird court rules, we can't. I don't know why we can't do a tribunal, just do what needs to be done to these people. But they sit them there, they're not charged, and then years go by and we forget about it, and all of a sudden they get on campaign promises. They want it to be their legacy, and they want to just throw them out there and release them. And like you were saying, they're saying it's about 17.5 to 18% of these people return to the battlefield. They can prove right now that Guantanamo detainees are directly involved with the death of at least 6 Americans. So that's 6 families that didn't have to go through this if we didn't release them as quickly.
Does it bother you that you heard I remember that Atlantic article, that interview that President Obama did, and it talks about the president always tells his staff that more people die from car accidents and bathtub falls than from terrorism. And John Kerry, the Secretary of State, just this past week, last week, talking about the media needs to cover terrorism less.
Yeah, if you stick your head in the sand, if I can't see it, it's not there. And right now they're just at a point where they kind of want to get this. I can't blame them for not wanting to do more about the war on terror right now because the administration is ending, but they're trying to just ignore it. It starts with they don't want to call it what it is. They don't want to call it Islamic terrorism. They want to call it something else. And when Secretary Kerry said just cover it less and maybe it won't be a problem, that was kind of a gaffe. You expect that maybe from like Vice President Biden to say something like that, but Kerry kind of messed up and he's saying what they want to say. Just press don't report it and no one will know about it, and it's not a real problem. Now,
the administration cannot move those GITMO detainees onto U.S. soil without congressional approval, but would you be okay with that?
I'd be fine with that. If they, on a few conditions, like they have sent people who committed terrorist acts on the soil to places like Florence, Colorado, and they've put them in solitary. You put them in solitary in Florence, Colorado, they're not going anywhere. I would live comfortably with my children next to Florence. They're not getting out. The problem that I could see happening, because they've done it in Guantanamo Bay, 23 hours in the yard, 1 hour in the cell, and they're in the Caribbean. The problem there is if they put them in general population, what they're going to do now is they're going to radicalize the inmates, and that's a big problem in our prison systems right now. A lot of radicalized Muslims come out of the prison, and they come back into normalcy here. And if just like in Yemen, if you send someone back to Yemen from GITMO, you send them to a prison here, all of a sudden they've got street cred, they've been to GITMO, they're fighting the jihad, they're doing it for Muhammad, and then they can just do it. It's a big issue. But like I said, if they they should work through some legalities, get them to solitary here, people will forget about them and let them rot.
Rob O'Neill, it's great to see you as always. Have a great Labor Day.
Absolutely, you too.
All right, take care. Stepping up security or stepping on states' toes. Why the federal government's move to shore up those Election Day voting machines is fueling a fierce debate. We're on it. And want a bonus from your boss? Hit the beach more. The new trend that workers may love this Labor Day. We'll explain.